Welcome everyone to Card Collectanea. This is Cindy again, and I'm sorry I haven't put a video on for a while. I've been extremely busy, so I'm doing other things rather than cards. But today I want to show you a quick card for Father's Day, something that it's time to do if you're going to do one for Father's Day. So I wanted to pull out some things that I hadn't used before, and I just wanted something easy and classic Dad. I used, to start this, a pack of papers called Card Maker's Creative Pack, and I got it online from Paper Wishes, and it has some lovely, just classic colored papers, grays and reds and tans, and just really lovely things. Very many of them very masculine in their appearance and colors, and there's also a page or 2 or 3 pages of tags and some other things. It's a lovely paper pack. And then also I wanted to use a set of Studio 112 stamps. These are I picked them up at Joann's, but probably can get them somewhere else. And they're all hats, 4 different hats, men's hats. And so my card today says, "A father wears many hats." So I'll show you how I'm going to put it together. I started with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. Just white. I just cut it from cardstock, used my Martha Stewart scoreboard and scored it, and I'm ready to go. And so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. To that, I added a red mat. This is just red cardstock. I got it from Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby. And this is 1/8 of an inch smaller than the white card. So this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. 5 3/8, 4 1/8. And then this is one of the papers from the Card Maker pack. And this is a red and black stripe. And I cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller than the red, so 1/4 of an inch smaller than the white. So it's 5 1/4 by 4. 5 1/4 this way, 4 this way. So I'll put those together, and then I'll show you what I did for the stamping. Alright, now that I have everything mounted here together, I'll show you what I did next. I used this brown textured piece from that same Card Maker stack, or it's not brown, it's gray, and I cut this at 3 1/2 in this direction and 2 3/4 this way. 3 1/2 by 2 3/4, and I will center it here. And then on top of that, I took this and ran it through my computer, or through my computer. I have a setting on one of the printers that the printer that I use for here is that will allow me to go to the size of 4 by 6, an index card. And so I cut the paper at 4 by 6. I ran it through, leaving a space here because I wanted to put my hats through the middle here. And so I cut it out, and I wrote, "A father wears many hats." Worked it out on the computer and put it so that it was the right size for what I needed, and then just ran the paper right through the printer, and so it came out with the words right on the gray paper. So then in the middle here, I wanted to add the sentiment page sections, and so each of these is 4 inches long. I'll show you the gray first. The gray one is 4 inches long by 1 1/2 inches wide. So, and obviously I couldn't leave it like that because it blends in with everything there. So behind that I added a red mat, which I made just 1/8 of an inch wider, but the same length. And then I added a white mat 1/8 of an inch wider than the red. And I wanted just a little bit of each of the colors to show through so that they would separate the hats from the rest of the things. Now, for these hats, since I knew that I wanted this size, I got a larger acrylic block, and I don't know if you can tell, but I've put all 3 of them on this acrylic block. I set them out on the paper the way I wanted them to be, and once they were placed on there, I put my acrylic block right over them, pushed down on them, and then they were where they wanted. Then I inked all 3 of them at one time, and then just turned it over and stamped that centerpiece. That made it very easy, so I knew that exactly where they were going to be when I got finished. And so once I had that done, then I was all ready to just pull this back together and pull this back in here and put them together, and I'll be done in very little time. So and I'm going to mount these. I'm going to put these together with ATG, and then on the back I'm going to use some foam tape from Scotch 3M, and I'll do that and be right back. Alright, now I'm back and I have everything together. I think it turned out really well. It's a cute, cute little card. Masculine but not dark, and I think my dad will really like it. I wanted to tell you that I used as my model or my sketch here, a sketch from Freshly Made Sketches, which if you don't know that website, please, it's a great website, very helpful. And so I wanted a 3-column design here. I brought this band all the way across the center, but that's where I got the idea. And again, these little stamps were something that I had, and I'm sure I picked them up because they looked masculine. And if you're like I am, masculine cards are harder for me to come up with. So if you don't have a stamp that has a hat, if you have a cricket, I know that there are hats on several of the cartridges there. So I appreciate your coming by. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.